my wife Susan and I were trying to have a baby, and we were having a lot of problems. Nothing was happening. Went on for quite a while, and Susan even had a major operation. She had her fallopian tubes opened, and even though the operation was considered successful, there was still no baby. One day she came to me and she said, "You know, Charlie, my doctor thinks that maybe you should get yourself checked." I said, "Me? What do you mean, me? What are you talking about?" I said, I have a son from my first marriage. I mean, that can't be my problem." She said, "Well, you know, Robbie is 12 years old. It's been a long time. It could be your problem. And there's a wonderful fertility doctor down on Park Avenue that you can go see." I said, "Susan, I'm not going to see a doctor. I'm not going to be poked and prodded. I'm not going to be examined." She said, you won't have to do anything, I promise. You just have to talk to him. Just go and talk to him. That's all. Please, please go, please, please." A couple of days later, I was sitting in the waiting room of the doctor, the famous fertility doctor on Park Avenue. And there were many, many women sitting there with me, but no men. On the wall, there were dozens of pictures, happy families smiling at the camera with little testimonials, saying how appreciative they were to the doctor for having given them the opportunity to have their families. I was ushered into his office. He was a rather large man, actually very large, with a round cherubic face. He reminded me a little of Santa Claus. And for a man that big, he had an unusually high voice. He asked me a couple of questions, then he said, "All right, now, Mr. Moss, if you'll just go into the next room and disrobe, take everything off and wait for me." I said, "Wait a minute, my wife said I didn't have to do anything." He said, "Well, I have to examine you." I went into the next room, took off my clothes, stood there shivering. It was a rather large, bare, cold room, waiting for him. He finally came in and immediately put his hand underneath my scrotum and started feeling around. He looked at me and he said, "You wait here, don't move, I'll be right back." And he left. So I stood there, totally naked, waiting for him to come back, and suddenly he came bursting through the door again, this time with another man behind him, his partner, the other doctor. And he said, "Tell me what you think." The other doctor started feeling around for himself. They looked at each other very wisely and they nodded. The first doctor said, "Put your clothes back on, come back to my office, and we'll talk." I sat in front of his desk waiting for him to finish writing something on a memo pad, and he put the pen down and he looked at me and he said, "Well, you're going to need surgery. When are you available?" I said, "But my wife said..." I had the surgery 3 weeks later.